sure some of you have already seen the title of the subject matter today. Brutality, police brutality and Freemasonry. That is today's conversation. I want all the smoke, I want all the heat, because I've heard that some says, well, why are you talking about this? What does jurisdictions or grand lodges have to do with this? What does the D9, Divine Nine, Kappas and Omegas and Alpha, what does this have to do with that? They were police officers. They brutally beaten this man. I'm gonna tell you what it has to do with. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. So as we observe, many of us have seen the brutal beating of this young man over a mere traffic stop. First of all, let me draw the line in the sand. Greetings. There's a difference when you're a black police officer and when you're a white police officer. There's truly a difference. Although you may talk that blue line thing, you may say the blue line, the blue lives matter. You may talk that. You talk it, you have it. There's a difference when it comes to black police officers and white police officers. There's truly a difference. You can say whatever you want to say. But today we need to have this conversation, because we know, and when I say we, a lot of us know black police officers. A lot of us know them. And I'm going to say this publicly. One of my good Masonic friends, and I call him a friend, and we all know that Dre Jones is a police officer. That's my guy. And I respect him highly. But even he knows that there's a thin line. He knows that. I have other police officers who are friends. And they are friends. I'm saying friends, because I've been to their homes and I broke bread with them, and we've had real discussions. They know that there's a line. You can't do what they do. You can't do what they do and get off with it. We all heard of I think the Somalian police officer. He goes to this lady's house who calls 911. He goes to check and see if anyone was behind her house. She comes out of the house and spooks him. He ends up killing her. He gets jail time. That's a fact. He gets jail time. He was spooked. He said, I didn't know who she was coming up behind me. But he gets jail time. You must understand, black police officers, you don't get assured the same policies as they get. You don't get that. You don't get that. See, if you was a white police officer, you would be put on desk duty. You would be suspended with pay. This is the first time I've ever seen them fire a police officer so quick. They didn't even fire the police officers who beat up on Rodney King. They went to trial on them and found them not guilty. Somebody talk back to me, because there's a lot that is at play right here. Now, let me remind you that 2 of the 5 police officers were part of the D9. One was a Kappa, and one was a member of Omega Psi Phi. 3 of the police officers were Freemasons, period. And I'm saying to myself, now you know what type of spotlight is on you already, because you know that if you didn't have that uniform on and you was driving down the street and those lights come on behind you, you are terrified just as I am. Let's just keep it real. Now, there's a lot of black police officers out there, and they are terrified when they're driving down the highway and them lights come on, because they very well know that their lives are also in danger. Let's not get that trip. Let's not just gloss over it. You a black police officer, you driving down the street, them lights come on, you are scared to death. That's a fact. And then for this matter to happen, let's just go and put it on out there. Bring the smoke. Some of you say, well, you know what why are you pointing this out? I'm pointing it out because it's in my face. Somebody got to talk about it. You keep sweeping shit under the rug. No. Let's not sweep it under the rug. And let's not forget, Michael, I think the brother name is Michael Donalds in Texas. He was in one of them sundown towns coming through Texas. This brother, who was on his way home after picking up a cake for his daughter's birthday, shot in the face by a police officer. Talk back to me. Oh yeah, y'all must have missed that one. Oh yeah, shot in the face. He said that he thought the guy was reaching for his gun. Forensics shows that there's nowhere in the hell he could have been reaching for his gun. The dude was shot in the face at 5 feet away. Somebody talk to me. This has got to stop. We often talk about masonry. Masonry is looking for good men to become better men. Come on. And I get it. We're not responsible for people who do these types of actions when they are a part of these various organizations. We know we're not responsible, but these people should understand that they represent an organization. They represent a group of people. So they got to carry themselves in a certain way. You can't be doing what everybody else do. The spotlight is too big on you. You know, you can't do that.
You know, it's just, it can't happen.
No, you can't do what everybody else does. You can't do it. I don't care how you wrap it up, how you sugarcoat it. You can't do what everybody else does, being black. And that's a fact. You know, and so we look at this situation and we break this down, we dissect it, and we, you know, people want to say, well, why you want to point out the fact that they was Prince Hall Mason? Why you want to point out the fact that they was part of the Divine Nine? Because they represent something bigger than themselves. They represent something bigger than themselves. And you have to understand that. You know? I mean, I look at other issues that have happened when police officers have done something horrendous and they get suspended with pay, desk duty with pay. We have seen them do some brutal shit. I mean, they talk about this, but we know that they've done some other stuff that's totally way over this, but they get desk duty. So we gotta look at this thing from two different perspectives. Yeah, there's a racial undertone with this. It is. Yes, it is. You may say, well, bro, how do you figure there's a racial undertone? Have you ever seen them rush to fire police officers so quick, even when they got it on video? Even when they got it on video. Have you ever seen them rush? Have you ever seen them rush? Have you ever seen them rush to fire police officers so quick? I haven't. I haven't. You're right. Prayers to Memphis, prayers to the family. Absolutely. And I'm going to tell you, prayers on both sides of the family, because those family members of those police officers, man, I don't think they want to go to work. I don't think they want to come out of their house. I think they are just in such a disarray. They don't know what to do with themselves. They probably want to move out of Memphis. I'm quite sure they're hurting too, because, bruh, you're my family member. You're my son. And you go out and do this? Oh, but you ain't heard the worst part. Now check this out. Now, I'm going to share this with you. And I'm going to stand on it until I find out differently. But the information that was shared with me, the information that was shared with me, the information that was shared with me was this, is that there was something else going on besides them just pulling him over. Hear me clearly, there was something else going on besides them just pulling him over. They knew this guy. Okay? They knew this guy. All right? There was other things that was at play. Trust me, it's going to come out. There was other things at play. I'm just hurt at the fact that they're gonna flip this narrative. They already talk about black on black crime. They already say black lives don't matter. So they're gonna, in my opinion on it, they're gonna lump this thing together. See what I'm saying? Oh, black lives doesn't matter. The police even doing it. That's because they got a mentality. They got a slave mentality. We all know how the police got started. Let's not trip. We all know how the police got started, right? We all understand the process for the police officer when they first was known as slave patrol. How they went and brought back people who had escaped from slavery. We all get that. We all know their first duty. So they never deterred from that. Who told you that they deterred from that? They always talk about, well, it's police policy. Even after they reviewed some of the videos, we have seen some videos of police officers really hammering people, okay, kicking them in the head, doing some horrible shit to them. And the first thing they're gonna say, well, police policy, police policy. They always want to hide behind police policies. Come on. They hide behind it when it's good to hide behind it. When it's not, then hey, they had to go. This was unnecessary. They give you everything else but police policy. And you know I'm telling the truth. You know I'm telling, come on. I know quite a few out there who know police officers, and there may be some on here right now. You know that there's a higher standard for you. You different. All right, you different. And I say you different because when you go out and do stuff and get caught, you get thrown under the bus. And let's not forget this here. There was a white officer there too. He didn't participate in the beating. Oh, but he was there. And you may be saying, what? Yeah, it's gonna come out. Yeah, that was a white officer there. He didn't participate. And he didn't stop it either. But he was there. And let's not forget the paramedics who showed up at the scene and didn't do their job. Come on, people. Come on now. Your job as a paramedic, your job as someone who's in the field, healthcare field, is to do no harm. Your job is to save lives. Come on now, not to take them. It is not the job of a police officer to take someone's life unless their life is in danger. Clear danger. They use that thing so much, I feared for my life. They get off with it, but when you fear for yours, you can't use that same terminology. When you know your life is clearly in danger and you use the same language, I feared for my life. It reminds me of this black woman, and I want to say she was in either, I think she was in Texas or in Memphis, one of them states, but where somebody broke into her house. A homeless man broke into her house, and she defended herself and killed this guy. She goes to jail. Now she's 77 years old, and she has cancer, and they still won't let her out of jail. See, there's two different systems going on here. There are two different systems going on here. And for those who are in leadership, I'm talking about black chiefs of police, black district attorneys. I'm talking about those who have what we perceive to be as power. When you have that power, when you don't distribute justice equally, and you turn a blind eye to justice when you have it at your fingertips, when you have it in your hands, you are just as worse as the police officers who do the beatings. You know, they bagged the badge last night. I'm just saying, you know, this is something horrendous. This is something that cuts at the core of the African American diaspora, the community in America. This really, man, this thing right here is a different feel. This is different. And it's different because you see 5 black police officers beating upon a helpless man. Well, but because they don't see the humane or the humanity in the man that they beating. And the same thing will go for white officers who would do the same, and we know they do the same. Where's your honor in protecting and serving? Where's that honor at? I'm just saying. You are part of these various organizations, but yet you don't have honor in what you say. Let's even look at the person who shot Medgar Evers. He was a part of mainstream Freemasonry from Mississippi. He put a hole in Medgar Evers. He got off for a very, very long time. And when you see things like that, and you say, I'm a Mason, you say, I'm a Shriner, I'm a this and I'm a that, but with some of the people that is in this very organization, or in your organization who does some heinous shit, how do you feel? What do you think? I mean, I'm like, damn, really? You gonna do this? Did they mean to kill the guy? I don't know. I don't personally know whether they did or did not. The fact of the matter is they did. That's the fact. The fact of the matter is that it was brutally shown, and they wanted to hold it. It reminds me of the kid in Chicago who was running down the street with a knife in his hands. And one police officer pulls up, and within 3 seconds, they kill this black man. Shoots him 12 times because he had a knife in his hands. It reminds me of the little kid playing in Chicago in the playgrounds with a BB gun. Police pulls up, don't even give a kid a damn opportunity and blows him up, just kills the kid. Come on. And no, this is not a few bad apples. Motherfucker, the whole barrel seems to be bad. And rotten apples would turn good apples bad. Rotten apples would turn good apples bad. So stop telling me it's just a few. There's a few good ones, yeah, but there's a whole lot of bad apples in this goddamn barrel that we talking about. It's a whole lot of them. You can't tell me it's not. Too much is coming out now. People are filming police. I don't care if you fear for your life, brothers and sisters, turn on your camera, start recording. Turn your camera on, start recording. And if I was you, I would go live. I want this scene live, because that's the only way you can get into justice, because they're going to turn their cameras off. They're going to go, doot, doot, doot. And you see how they hit it, they disturb the cameras? Come on. They know how to operate those cameras. I'm just saying, this is just crazy. This is just crazy. I mean, I'm bothered by it. I'm hurt by it. It saddens me that this whole episode has taken place. It continues to take place, you know? And even the Blue Lives Matter, you know there's a thin line between that. Come on. You can be out there with them, and let me tell you just how thin it is. Good police officers are so afraid to say anything because they know that they're going to be retaliated against. Somebody talk back to me. You know I'm telling the truth. Good police officers are afraid to say anything because they're going to be retaliated against. They can lose their life. Everybody got something on somebody. And so if I'm a good cop and I'm really trying to do my job, and I go out and I express myself by telling this other police officer, no, you don't be hitting on a cuffed suspect. And you turn on me. Like that police officer who turned on that female police officer when she told him, hey, he's in the car, he's already cuffed, and you wanna pepper spray him? He's already in the car. He turned around and choked her. He turned around and choked her. Come on, guys. This is a culture within the police department. This is a culture. This people, oh, this is not the norm. Hell, this is the norm. This is the culture. Okay? This is what this thing right here goes deep. It goes deep. And for those who are in power to do something about it, they continuously to turn a blind eye. I don't see anything. I didn't know it was happening. Really. You're the chief of police in your department. You mean to tell me you didn't know that these guys was ruthless? Look at the name of the team that they was part of. They was part of the Scorpion team. What type of name is that? Sounds like some gang affiliation to me. Just like here in San Diego, we got a team of police officers. They're supposed to be a gang task police officers. Hell, I think they're part of the gang. I do. I honestly think that some of them are part of the gang. That's just me. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying that's my opinion. I think a lot of police officers are corrupt, and a lot of you think the same way. We just don't really say anything about it because we want to get home to our families too. So we'll say yes, sir, no, sir, whatever to calm things down, because he can go off at any time. He has a badge. He whooping your ass and you trying to defend yourself. He gonna say you resisting. Didn't Malcolm X say that? Did Malcolm X tell you that you can be defending yourself, trying to stop him from beating your ass, and he'll tell you that you was resisting? Man, hell yeah, I resist an ass whooping. I don't even know of a child that doesn't resist an ass whooping. Even when they know they done wrong, they still resist. Come on now. This whole situation has really done something. And for them to demonstrate how quick they can actually act showed me something else. Hear me clearly. They showed me how quickly they can react when it comes to dealing with police officers, period. They showed me that. And they set the example by doing it to black officers. That's my narrative. They set the example to say, we can fire you right now because of what you did. You broke police protocol. You're done. But usually when something like this happens, oh, well, we have to wait and see what's the investigation going to show. Yes, they're on desk leave. They've been suspended with pay. All of that before you even get to the trial. But they showed you. Pay attention to what they did. They showed you what they can do without even contacting the police union. They showed you what they can do, and they didn't care what you thought. They fired those officers. It wasn't even a week. They was like, oh, you done. It's over. You fired. Yeah. Four of the police officers made bail on $250,000, and one is still in jail from what I know of. I'm just looking at this thing, man. It bothers me. It hurts because in the same breath, everybody that's watching, everybody who's going to watch, everybody who's watching, everybody who's going to watch, you know as well as I know that there are good police officers out here. You just got too many bad ones that overshadows the good work that the good ones do. That's just that simple. You got too many bad police officers who overshadows the good work of those good ones out here. And the good ones are terrified because they know if they do something to upset the bad ones, they can get killed. Oh, it's the truth. Man, this thing right here got me shook. I mean, there's no words to express the hurt in the black community right now across America. Just not in Memphis. Memphis needs our prayers. Memphis needs the brotherhood of Freemasonry to come together, be it international, PHO, PHA, ancient free, whatever it may look like. They need to come together. I'm just saying, you're willing to come together in Tennessee with the white Masons. Now it's time to come together with your fellow black Masons. This is that time, bro. You could say whatever you want to say. Oh, you always got to interject racism. You always got to interject race. Man, this country was founded on violence. Okay? Name me one thing. Name me one thing that the black community has ever achieved without violence. Name me one. Name me one Senate bill. Name me one bill that has ever got passed in the Senate or Congress without violence that is taking place to black people. Not that we giving it. I'm talking about they giving it to us. I'm just saying. Oh, they got to do it in peace. You killed Martin Luther King in peace. You killed Malcolm in peace. You killed Medgar Evers in peace. Peace? Man, when have this country really ever known peace? There's always been tension in this country. Always. Always been tension in this country. We know it. Some of us are just afraid to speak about it. Nah, it's just what it is. It's truth. And it hurts. And it bothers me. You know? It bothers me because of what we see. It bothers me because it seems as if those who are in power refuse to act and to do anything about it. It bothers me. You know, if a doctor was doing the shit that police officers was doing, do you think people would want to come to the hospital? Do you think that? Come on. They wouldn't. They wouldn't. I'm just saying. And I know people are like, man, you gaslighting. You just want to. No. This thing was lit long before I came along. You know? This thing was lit long before I came along. That's real talk. And I know people talking about, well, you know, they was Prince Hall Masons. No, bruh. Remove the PHA and leave the last bit of that. Freemasons. They were Freemasons. I don't care how you chop it up. The last title is Freemasonry. Or Freemasons. The last title. Oh, well, they was Greek. I don't care how you cut it up. They was Kappas, Omegas, Alphas, you know, Sigmas, you know. I'm just saying the Divine Nine. These officers represented the attributes of the black community. They represented what success should look like, okay? And now you may be saying, well, how do you figure that? How do you figure they represented what success looks like? Check it out, just for a moment. First of all, they're black police officers, number one. Number two, they're belonging to some of the most dynamic organization that a man can be belonged to. The Divine Nine, okay? With all of the Greek fraternities working together, okay? They was husbands and fathers. They represented a core essence of what black success looked like. That's what I'm talking about. And for them to do what they did, man, the effect of what they did shakes up the African American community here in America and maybe even abroad. It does. Because we can expect that. We can expect that from them others. We know that they would do that to us. We know that. But when we do it to ourselves, and as brutal as it was done, because some of us would do it to each other to prove a point to the other guy. I'm just as ruthless as you are. You know what I mean? Some of the police officers who drive up on the scene, and you got a white officer, you got a black police officer, they would do you in worse than a white cop because they trying to prove that, hey, you know what? I'm with the cause. Come on, you talk back to me now. You know they do it. You know they will whoop your ass just to say, look, I'm with you. We've seen that too. We have seen that too. But this right here, man, if anyone wants to continue to have this conversation, and I mean anyone, and you think what I'm saying is really untrue, I can come back and we can do this live tonight where you can actually join me live via Zoom or call in. We can continue to have this conversation because it's one that needs to be had. And a lot of people keep running, you know. You keep running. You know, you keep saying, well, no, dude, you want to have the conversation? Let's have the conversation. Stop running. You know, that's my thing. Stop running. Come on. Police brutality is something real in this country. And granted, there are some white people who get their ass kicked too. Let's just be honest. Yes, there are some white people who get their ass handed to them. Yeah. We don't really hear about it, but we know it happens. But what we hear about is when it happens to African Americans. We only make up, what, less than 15, 13% of this country? But when we get beat and killed by the police, it's more disproportionately than anybody else. So yeah, there's a spotlight. There's a spotlight. They would highlight this to death. Let me tell you something else that's happening that's quiet too. You remember here in California, Last week there was 2 massacres that happened here in California. You're not really hearing a lot about it, okay? It was the Asiatic community had their New Year celebration. And this guy who was Asian drove up at this party and just blasted. Two of them. It was 2 times this happened, okay? Drove up and blasted. I mean, blasted. Come on, somebody talk back to me. But you ain't really hearing too much about that. And let's not forget Michael, I think his name is Danielle Michael or Michael Danielle, the gentleman in Texas, I just mentioned just a few minutes ago, who was going to get a cake for his daughter for her birthday, got the cake on the way back home, gets pulled over by the police, gets shot in the face, don't even make it home to his daughter's birthday. Come on. Man, look, this is a culture. The culture of the police department is dangerous. And although there are some great police officers out there, but they are terrified. And we know they're terrified because if you look like me and you are a police officer and you're driving down the street and you ain't got this uniform on, until they come up on the car and you go, yes, sir, no, sir, and then you say, oh, I'm a police officer too, and they ain't gonna ask you, where about you a police officer? Hell, they may not even believe you. They may not even believe that you're a police officer and still beat your ass. Let's have some clarity on that. Let's not forget during the riots in New York. You remember that undercover police officer? You know him, right? He got his butt beat. He got his ass handed to him. And why? He didn't resist. Y'all remember that? He didn't resist. Man, they beat that man to a pulp. I don't think he'll ever be the same anymore. Yeah, he ended up suing the police department. Yeah, he got money, but he'll never be the same anymore. He will never be the same anymore. And as soon as you understand and as soon as you realize what's taking place and as soon as you're able to grab that and understand it, you'll be better off. You will be better off. And I'm going to share this with you before I get ready to go. And this is the God honest truth. A few years back, my daughter was on her way home, and the police pulled her over. She called me on the phone and said, Daddy, I've been pulled over. And the police was like, ma'am, roll down your window. She did. Ma'am, can you get out the car? She's like, no, I'm not getting out the car. I'm not getting out the car. Daddy, I'm at such and such a place. Please hurry up and come. So yeah, I get there, and I speak to the police, and I told them my name, and we had a conversation. They was like, well, why your daughter went? I told her, I said, she was scared. Why was she scared of us? Man, come on. Come on now. They was like, Mr. Hawkins, you know, we're sorry about it, but, you know, I was like, I get it. We all want to go home. But, brother, no, he wasn't a black cop. He was a white cop. And I told him, I said, hey, brother, but look, that's my daughter. She was terrified. She called me. And when I came, my daughter got out the car. Okay, we can get out the car. Write the ticket. We good, but she wasn't getting out the car. No, Even when you drive into a lighted place and you're driving at a slow pace, they still want to whoop your ass. And when you tell them, look, I was scared, man, I just want to be in a lighted place. I put out those lights and you should get out the car, you should pull over. Man, look, y'all going to start protecting yourselves in the essence of getting to a place that got plenty of cameras where if something break out, you guys, it can show. Because they ain't, no. Protect and serve. I got your protect and serve on so many different levels. I just pray for that family and for the families who are involved with this. And I pray for the state of Memphis. And I pray for those who this is going to truly affect. Because, brothers, as long as we're seeing this, it just adds to the fire. It just adds to the fire. And it's just what it is, and it's sad. But look, I'm going to go. Man, this is tough. I hope everybody is well and that when you're watching this, that you're able to get something out of it and really take a good look. Take a good hard look at this case. Because there's a lot of things that are happening in this case that would never happen if it was the other way around. Now you know exactly what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that anybody deserves to get off with anything. I'm just saying I'm looking at it with eyes wide open, plain and simple. Peace, be well, enjoy your day. God bless you. And until next time, remember, I'm not your study guide. I'm just here to help you study. Peace and blessing. And assalamu alaikum.